Welcome to Flekar and Inspire, the channel that brings you powerful stories that surprise, move, and make you think. Today's story is one of tension, truth, and the moment when the cameras stopped rolling and everything changed. What started as a celebrity guest appearance turned into a moment no one in the audience, or backstage, would ever forget. This is, Mark Wahlberg kicked off Stephen Colbert's show after fiery clash. The energy in the studio that evening was electric. Stephen Colbert, the charismatic host of Late Night Pulse, had a reputation for sharp wit and unshakable charm. The show, now in its 12th season, was one of the highest-rated late-night talk shows on television. Guests ranged from politicians to pop stars, and tonight, the headline read, "Mark Wahlberg returns." For the audience, this was just another night of laughs. But for the team backstage, tensions were already simmering long before Mark ever took his seat on stage. 3 days earlier, Colbert's staff had received the interview outline from Wahlberg's team. Strict topics only. No political questions. No mentions of past controversies. No improvisation. It wasn't unheard of. Celebrities often requested to steer conversations a certain way, but this list felt defensive. "We've had presidents on with fewer restrictions," Colbert muttered during prep. His producers tried to calm the waters. "Just play it safe. He's promoting a new foundation. Stick to that." But Stephen Colbert wasn't known for sticking to the script, and when cameras turned on, all bets were off. Mark Wahlberg walked onto the set to loud cheers. Charming, confident, dressed in a fitted black suit, he waved to fans, shook hands with Stephen, and sat down with that familiar swagger. The first 10 minutes, smooth sailing. Colbert asked about the new fitness brand, Mark Flex. They joked about protein shakes. The audience laughed. The energy was warm. And then, things changed. "So Mark," Colbert said, flipping through his cards, "let's talk about something a little deeper." Wahlberg's smile twitched. "Sure," he said. "Depends what it is." Colbert leaned in. "You've got a new youth program. It's getting praise, but some folks are wondering, where was this version of Mark 20 years ago? The guy who's all about giving back now, where was he when he had all the power and attention in Hollywood?" The audience fell quiet. Wahlberg blinked. "Excuse me." Colbert smiled, keeping the tone light. "Just saying, people evolve, right? But some critics think your redemption arc is a little curated, carefully packaged." The silence was thick. Wahlberg adjusted in his chair. "Look, man, I came on to talk about the foundation, not get grilled about my past." Colbert raised an eyebrow. "Isn't the past part of what makes the foundation meaningful?" The studio air chilled. What followed was 7 minutes of television that no one in the studio, or watching at home, would forget. Wahlberg, visibly agitated, leaned forward. "You want a soundbite, right? That's what this is. Let's poke the actor and see if he snaps. Well, here's the truth. People change. I've changed. And if you don't believe it, that's on you." Colbert stayed composed. "We all change, Mark. But accountability's part of that too." "Don't lecture me, man," Mark said, voice rising. "You sit behind a desk, throwing shade at people living real lives." Audible gasps from the audience. Producers shifted nervously behind the cameras. The teleprompter froze. Stage manager gave the cut signal, but the red light on the camera stayed on. Colbert's smile vanished. "You're in a room full of people who looked up to you. And instead of showing them how to grow, you're showing them how to storm out." "Maybe I should," Mark snapped. And then, he stood. The next 30 seconds were chaos. Wahlberg removed his mic, dropped it on the desk, and said, "I'm done." He turned to walk off stage as the audience watched in stunned silence. Colbert, staying seated, muttered into his mic, "Ladies and gentlemen, Mark Wahlberg, the shortest guest segment in show history." The crowd didn't clap. They weren't sure if they were supposed to. Backstage, the fallout was immediate. Producers scrambled to fill the time slot. A musical guest was bumped up. Reruns were discussed. Phones rang non-stop. Wahlberg, still fuming, was rushed into a black SUV by his team. His manager argued with studio execs. Legal teams hovered over contracts. And the internet exploded. #Wahlberg walk-off trended within minutes. Clips circulated like wildfire. Some blamed Colbert for pushing too hard. Others praised him for not caving to celebrity PR shields. But the question on everyone's mind was simple. What happened after the cameras stopped? What the public didn't see was what happened 45 minutes later. Stephen Colbert, no cameras, no staff, no PR reps, walked down the hallway to Mark's green room. It was empty. But Mark was still in the building, alone, in a private lounge. Stephen knocked. No answer. He opened the door anyway. Wahlberg sat in the dark, elbows on knees, hands clasped, staring at the floor. "You're still here?" Stephen said quietly. "Yeah." A long silence. Then Mark spoke. "I get it. Okay. You were doing your job. But you don't know what it's like being judged every day for the person you used to be." Stephen nodded. "Maybe not. But I know what it's like to regret things. To want to do better and not know if the world will let you." Mark exhaled. "I thought I had moved on." "Maybe you have," Stephen said. "But the people watching, they want to hear it from you. Not from your brand. Not from your foundation. From you." Mark looked up. "So what now?" "You come back," Stephen said. "Next week. No scripts. Just talk." "You'd let me back on." "This show isn't about canceling people," Colbert replied. "It's about conversations. And second chances." A week later, headlines shifted. Wahlberg returns to Colbert, unscripted and raw. The second interview was different. No lights dimmed, no jokes rehearsed. Mark sat down and told the truth. About his past, his struggles, his anger, his fear of being seen as a fraud, and his desire to be more than a rebranded image. Colbert listened. The audience listened. And the internet, for once, paused, and listened. The moment went viral again. But this time, not for the clash, for the reconciliation. The clip of Mark saying, "I'm not perfect, but I'm here, trying," was shared millions of times. Mental health advocates praised the segment. Other celebrities followed suit, appearing on late-night shows and opening up about their own journeys, unfiltered. And behind the scenes, something bigger happened. Colbert's show introduced a new segment called The Second Seat, where public figures could sit, speak, and be heard without interruption. As for Mark, his foundation doubled in funding. But more importantly, he began visiting youth centers not just to donate, but to talk. Not about fitness, not about films, about forgiveness. A year later, at a Hollywood Awards gala, Stephen Colbert introduced Mark Wahlberg for the Humanitarian of the Year award. As Mark stepped onto the stage, the room gave him a standing ovation. He held the award, looked at Colbert, and smiled. "Funny how the worst night of my career became the start of the best chapter of my life," he said. Offstage, Colbert and Mark hugged. No scripts, no cameras, just two men who dared to have a hard conversation, and walked away better for it. Thank you for watching Flekar and Inspire. In a world of highlight reels and filtered truths, sometimes the most powerful thing is an honest conversation, even when it gets messy. Because that's where real change begins. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this story with someone who believes in second chances. We'll see you in the next one.